Hey guys, it's Arlessa coming at you with another video, and I have a phone stand for my car. Yay! So I don't have to hold it, you don't have to be jiggling it all around or me trying to find the angle, just gonna stick it here, and here we are. So guys, I'm coming at you with another video today, and in this video I am going to be talking about change, how people are able to change, and what it looks like when we hold them to their past mistakes and don't allow them to thrive with their evolution, within their evolution, them changing and becoming a better version of themselves, and how to not unfairly label people who maybe have made some poor decisions in the past. I'm one of them. I'm sure you are too. We've all, made decisions that have not been maybe the best and have affected people in ways, and you evolve and you change. And what triggered this was I'm actually a part of a few groups for like singles or just I don't know, age appropriate groups. So this one group is like 35 and up, and no offense to anybody 35 and younger, but I'm 42, so I like to get in there and have conversations with people my own age. I love talking to people who are not my own age as well. But when you're trying to get to know somebody, or you're dating, or you're putting yourself out there and trying to get to know people, hey, we all have our specifications that we look for, and I like to look for someone more my age, kind of. But that's just me. I have dated younger, so anyways, I'm not gonna be all like, hey, sorry if I offend you. It is what it is. Everybody has their own preferences. Anywhooser, I love a good topic. I love a good discussion. So there was it wasn't a man. It was a woman that posted a video of a man talking, and he was advocating for women in the way that certain gender roles have been, a certain way for so long, and that how it's all evolving, and the unrealistic expectations that men and women both tend to put on one another whenever they're looking for their perfect partner. And it was just a really insightful video. He was more geared towards advocating for women. He wasn't putting men down. He was advocating for the fact that, in today's women at one point were taking on roles of the homemaker and doing all of that. And then as we've evolved, women have started to work. These days you need two incomes sometimes. Unless, I'm a full-time single parent and I'm able to do it. And there's lots of them there, but having two incomes is something that is, imperative in a lot of different situations depending on how your family dynamic is. And so it's kind of like, okay, he said, women will be like, okay, I want a guy that makes six figures, he's fit, he's handsome, or he's this, right? And he was like, it seems like it's unrealistic. He said, but I can think of, quite a few men that have attained all of this, right? And then you look at men, and it's kind of like sometimes we're in this role-playing zone where a man may want a woman to make the home, cook the meal, have the do the horizontal mambo often, like a lot of different things, which a lot of women should want to. He was just saying that, you want her to have the kids, you want her to do all the things around the home, you also want her to pay half the bills, but then you want her to have enough energy to have, extracurricular activities with you, or also, plan other things. And how the roles of today's society, it's like we still hold on to some of those old-fashioned roles, but we're trying to infuse them in the new roles that are going on in today's society, and it's not working. So what does it do? It creates this unexpected, it's so funny, I'm getting into the roles, but it creates this unrealistic unexpectation of one another. Whereas women also, it's like for a long time, men financially were the providers, right? But this day and age, women are working, so women are working and becoming more independent, so it's unfair for a woman who is working just as much as a man to say that he still has to take on all of the financial costs. So it goes both ways, right? So it was just a really good discussion. I felt like getting going, I was like, yeah, we're talking about these roles. And then this guy made a comment and was like, oh, coming from a man, like the guy who was talking in the video, another guy came in and he commented, and because all the women were like, yes, I appreciate this video, and he was like, oh, coming from a man that, you know, cheated on his wife and did all of these things and blah, 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 blah. And then there was a woman, the woman that had posted the video was kind of like, and another man, I guess, felt, well, hold on, let me get back. Then another man, I guess, felt kind of comfortable enough to go ahead and say, yeah, right, why we're going to listen to him. So kind of gaslighting the man in the video for advocating for these roles. And to me, it's really interesting. And so I sat back, and then the woman who originally posted the video she was like, well, I like to post things that make sense, but she kind of started crawfishing out saying, I guess he is kind of a a-hole or blah, blah, blah. And I was like, nah, girl, no. And so I decided to get on there, and I was like, look, just because somebody has made poor decisions doesn't, in their past or at one point in their, however their journey has led them up to be, doesn't mean that they can't advocate for opening discussions on very real and valid topics. And then I got to thinking more, and I was like, you know what? This really plays a part in how people set their specific fixated views on someone, and they don't allow the open-mindedness of knowing that people can change. There are people who could, their whole, relationship career, maybe they just constantly cheated on their spouses, and through dealing with that experience and the backlash and losing people or whatever, they're just, their life lessons are with that, they become an advocate for healthy marriage and learning how to communicate and learning how to do things, right? You have drug addicts who are addicted to drugs for years, and then they change, they get sober, and then they advocate for sobriety, just like alcoholics. Some, they become sober, and then they advocate for, learning how to be who you are and have fun without alcohol. Like, so it's possible, and I just was like, man, I really want to get on and get a discussion going about this, but also talk about, I am somebody who, guys, I'm very transparent about the fact that I have not been a wonderful person my entire life. I was very selfish. I was very entitled for a really long time, longer than I care to admit, but you know what? I will. It took my mother dying in 2016 for me to really get an understanding and a different perspective, and it really just threw me into a lot of what my healing journey has been. And then look at me now, I'm doing what I can to put that light out there and become the best version of myself, whereas in the past I was not willing to become the best version of myself for whatever reasons, for my own incapabilities at that time. But I advocate for a lot of the things that I was unable to do, and a lot of the ways that I was unable to act back then, because I've learned, and now I can advocate and push that forward. And there may be people that hold me to my past mistakes, and that's okay. That's totally their right to do that. But you have to also be willing to march to a certain beat of the drum if you're going to do that, because it's very important. If you ever want someone back in your life, especially, you have to allow them to advocate for who the new version of them is, right? Somebody can make all kinds of mistakes, handle things a certain way, and then see it differently through that experience or other experiences, and decide to be a different version of themselves because they see things differently. And I just got a glimpse of how, as humans, collectively, we all kind of brand people with their mistakes and kind of give them that cross to bear for the remainder of their life. And it's so hard for people to come back from certain decisions that they've made because of maybe what it did to themselves or people around them. But people can change. People can absolutely change. And just because somebody has made decisions that have not been the best in the past doesn't mean that through that process or other experiences, they didn't learn how to become that person. So I guess this is really about me saying, be gracious with people. If people are out there actively making changes and putting themselves out there to make a difference, be gracious. Allow them the opportunity to show you who they are now. Like even with past friendships or past relationships, say in the past things didn't work or they were handled a certain way, but through time you learn to be different people or see things differently, and then you can come together and have a better appreciation and move through who you are now together. And that's with anything, guys, right? Be fair and gracious, not only to yourself through the process of you changing, And know that just because you've made decisions in the past doesn't mean that you cannot advocate for a better world and learning. This is so important because, right, the experience in the lessons doesn't happen unless you're experiencing it. And through the experience and through those lessons learned, we're able to become better versions of ourselves. And not only that, but spread a light, right, where other people can see, and then we all kind of are just doing it together. So, you know, I feel like I learned a lot just by that small interaction, just by looking at how unwilling people are to accept change, not only in themselves, but others sometimes. And I just hope that we can start to change that in society, right? People earn the right to be considered as brand new people when they literally change their entire selves. All right. So, and these are where, honestly, if you look at all the gurus and the healers and the motivational speakers, they all have a story where they were not the best version of themselves. They were not who they are now, but they learned through those trials and through those tribulations and through those different perspective changes. Okay, guys. So don't be too quick to judge. Be willing to listen to whoever is willing to put words out there for others, right? We have to be willing to learn from others as well as teach and share. And this is how we start to change the world. So yeah, I think that's all I got to say about that. I did want to do a video on the different roles with dating and the things that I was talking about earlier in the video, and I couldn't decide. And I was asking my really good friend Liz, which one do you think I should talk about? And she was like, they're both kind of, you know, necessary to have. So I went with the change one, and then I think the next one I'm definitely going to get, I definitely want to talk about gender roles with dating and things like that, because I don't know, guys, I just feel like I want to hit on all these different topics. So I'm going to go from ADHD to self-healing to dating to triggers to trauma. I just want to kind of bring it all. I hope my videos are helping people, guys. Thank you for taking the time to watch me just get on here and speak my mind and share my journey. And I'd love to get a discussion going. You know, if y'all want to, let's talk about things. Let's get these conversations going. Yeah. Okay, guys, have a wonderful Tuesday. I know I'm going to do my best. It's been a good day so far, and I fully intend on keeping it that way. So, see you again.